But unity is beyond good and evil. It is light, and it is night, and it is that which is beyond them. It is speech, and it is silence, and it is that which is beyond them. It is life, and it is death, and it is that which is beyond them. It is war, and it is peace, and it is that which is beyond them. It is weakness, and it is strength, and it is that which is beyond them. This is true in a lofty metaphysical sense. Kether transcends the duality of Chokmah and Binah. Subtle experiences, such as jhana or samadhi, transcend the duality of subject and object. But even the concrete sense in which an organism maintains its unity is beyond good and evil. Arsenic is evil to us because it decomposes the relations of our parts, one to another, until our unity is ultimately dissolved and we perish. But from the point of view of arsenic, it is merely declaring its own unity in relation with our bodies, expressing its own intrinsic nature, and therefore it is doing good by killing us. The same could be said for an angry swarm of bees that stings a 3-year-old to death. Even a person for whom the expression of their psychopathic tendencies compels them to rape. When Crowley rejects such activities, it's not because he regards the actions themselves as bad in some kind of abstract moral sense. It's not because they violate the supposed divinity of another person. It's because such actions have a tendency to undo the unity of the person committing them. In other words, the person will probably get caught and put to death. Do what thou wilt does allow for the concept of evil, but it is a concept of evil relative to the will of each. It is relative to the unity which expresses the true nature of each organism. To be evil means to live in such a way that your own relations decompose. It means the loss of your own unity. By contrast, to be good means to live in accordance with and to express that unity. But you living in accordance with your own unity, your own good, gives no guarantee that, from the perspective of another being, your impact on them is not evil. In fact, you can be certain that there are many perspectives from which the activities of your best divine self are evil. This might seem like a terrible fate. And fate, in the sense that it had for the ancients, is precisely the right term for it. But the truth is that we cause even more mayhem when we do not live in unity with ourselves. The more we concern ourselves with the wills of others, the more damage we do. We become mere aggregates of impulse. Our final decisions are nothing of the kind. They are merely the sums of competing force vectors from within and without and all around us. In Crowley's language, we are like countries divided against ourselves, bodies racked with cancer. From the perspective of our higher selves, we are in a fallen, evil state. This is how Crowley describes the run-of-the-mill human condition. But if we're not living in accordance with our own natures, if we are not organizing according to our own principle of unity, then we are not truly alive. We merely think we are. So many of our decisions are motivated by the fear of death, the desire to avoid death. In reality, the worst thing imaginable has already happened to us. If we had any sense, we wouldn't fear death. We would fear never having lived in the first place. When this realization occurs, if it ever occurs, it is accompanied by the feeling of horror. Horror in the sense of revulsion and terror, but also horror like a horror film. What is a monster, really, other than our own repressed natures projected onto a shadow? The monster is the illusion of dead matter erupting with life. It is a false unity, grotesquely imposed upon and animating a shadow. Almost the exact terms Crowley used to describe the devil. One of the first horror novels ever written, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, is about exactly the issues we have been exploring this evening. Life, death, and the difference. Horror continues to be about this issue. It presents an image of dark matter pregnant with a coiled serpent about to spring. It is the mere image or illusion of what we in fact are, the walking dead. The reason we require an encounter with darkness is simple. Darkness is the only thing in heaven or in hell that has the power to destroy what we have erected in desperation. There is something here akin to the ancient Gnostic idea that we are spiritual beings trapped in matter that must seek their release. The Gnostic god Chenubis is isomorphic with the lion serpent, the holy guardian angel of Thelemic tradition. But the similarity stops there. The purpose of releasing this potential trapped at the heart of disorganized matter is not so it can escape to some remote celestial region. There is no pleroma to retreat to for perfection. What is freed in this world is freed for this world, because it was always of this world. If you want to know what heaven, the body of Nui, looks like, look all around you. When you discover and do your true will, you will do it right here, right now, in this world. And it may very well be destructive of other things in this world. In fact, almost certainly will be at least some of the time. Full consciousness, apprehension, and ownership of one's own vitality requires one to accept this fate. One will probably encounter this fate as darkness outside of oneself. Darkness which one must descend into on a solitary journey to the underworld, to the realm of the dead. If you want the keys to open your prison cell, you need to go to the only person who has them. She is the queen of the dead. Her name is Kore. She is also called Malka, or He final of Tetragrammaton. Her destiny is Babylon, the mother of us all. She lies at the center of the earth. I do not mean she is at the center of the planet. I mean she is at the heart of all matter. She is everything we have been looking at for the last hour. You can see her and feel her literally anywhere you look, so long as you know how to look. And that is a large part of the spiritual path, learning how to look, learning the proper use of the senses. It is the acquisition of an aesthetic education, after the Greek word for sensation, aesthesis. And so we return to the function of the artist and the spiritual role of the work of art. The artist affects liberation and release of what is spiritual at the heart of matter. The transition from mere matter to artistic medium is the same as the journey of initiation. The artist is the hierophant, and matter is the candidate. If the initiation is successful, the work of art is a window, allowing chaos to shimmer through the regular order of being. When we are face to face with great art, whatever the form, we are having a direct experience of that spiritual reality which lies all around us and in us, but which we are not usually able to see or appreciate until we have learned to see with the eyes of a mystic or an artist. Perhaps you have had the experience of finishing a great novel or a great film. Putting the novel down, or emerging from the darkness of the theater into the light, you think to yourself, my God, my life has to change somehow. But how? You have no idea. The work of art did not tell you how to change. It's not supposed to. That's not its job. The job of the work of art is to display its own nature to you. It's revealing what lies coiled at the core of itself. If it had a voice, it would be asking you to do the same. It is asking you to live in accordance with your own law, to let the chaos within you shine forth. It is demanding you transform your own life into a work of art.